Hey, welcome back to the Supersaw Shootout. This is round 2. We've got a few new synthesizers in this list, including Omnisphere, Diva, Zebra. I believe Rapid is new to this one. Vital, Wavetable from Ableton, of course, and that's it. We also took out some of them like FM8 and Absynth, and I think the Twin 2 was in the last one, and it's missing, and so is Synthmaster 2, because Synthmaster 1 is pretty much the same thing. And anything else. Pigments, I never bought that, so I decided not to include the demo here. This time we're doing different MIDI sequences. We're doing something very different, including the new synths. We're using filters on these. But for the beginning, some of them, the filter doesn't open up nearly enough to get a really good comparison, like Omnisphere, for example. So we're starting out with the filter off for Omnisphere. Same for Hive, because Hive in dirty mode, which puts it the most similar to the other unison types of the other synths, the filter cutoff it's so dark at the top. So I just, for the first run through without any filter movement, I'm just going to leave the filter off for Hive and Omnisphere, and I think that's it. Diva, obviously, you can't turn the filter off. For Diva, we're using the Cascade filter, which is, I think, the lowest CPU using one, and it gets the highest in the frequency spectrum. Serum is the Moog 24 filter. For Zebra, we are using the mid-drive filter, which gets it all the way up to the top. Sylenth has one filter. For ANA2, we are using the Oberheim filter, I believe. Yeah, Oberheim low pass, or Ober as they call it. For DUNE, we're going to be using the regular clean low pass to begin with, and then when we do filter stuff, we're going to look at the expander one. This expander one is more similar to Sylenth's filter, very, very similar. So that's why we're going to be using it, because I don't care so much for the resonance on the clean one, and we're going to be playing with resonance later, so that's what we're doing there. Rapid, we're using the analog low pass, which is my favorite, and it also opens up fully. Don't believe any of the other ones do. So, and it's I think it's the lowest CPU using one for Rapid. Rapid's a really great plugin. For Spire, we're using the Perfecto because it goes all the way up. If you want a Sylenth type filter from Spire, you'd choose the Scorpio Black 4. For Vital, we're using the analog filter all the way up, 24 dB. For Wavetable, we're just using the clean one, the clean low pass. For Hive, we're going to be using the 24 dB per octave one in dirty mode, which you'll see what that sounds like later. For Synthmaster, we're using the ladder low pass, 24. And Massive is just the LP4, low pass 4. All right, here's the run through with basically filters all the way up, and any synths that can't go all the way up, we'll just have their filters off, like Omnisphere. Starting with Omnisphere, here we go. That's all of them, and you'll notice that I'm actually playing them all at the same time here. So if you're looking at the CPU meter to try and figure out which one's using less CPU, you can't, because they're all just rolling all at once. I can say with great confidence that Vital and I believe Wavetable from Ableton and probably Diva and Rapid, I believe, are the highest CPU using synths right now on this list here. But I can't prove it because I'm just going through them all, playing them all at the same time. But that's just been my experience. Hive used to be very high, higher than Serum, but thankfully they kind of fixed it. They used to have it so that even though all these other oscillators are turned off, they'd all actually still be playing, or at least calculating CPU usage for them, even though they're turned off. And they recently really optimized it by making it so that only the ones that are on are going to be counting towards any CPU usage. So that's awesome. Now it's a lot more close to like Sylenth and better than Spire in CPU usage. So great, because it's a really fantastic synth, and it sucked that it was so high before. Now I'm going to turn back the filters on, and we're going to do a little filter movement stuff here. So Omnisphere gets the filter back on, Hive gets the filter back on. In all cases, these synths are level matched to the best of my ability and unison detune matched, which I did basically by putting this in linear mode, kind of setting the range here so I can get a good grip on things, and playing a note. Wait, is that where I had it? Yeah. So I basically had it right around 10K there, and then I use these little teeth, I like to call them, to gauge how tuned one was against the other. So if we look at like, I don't know, Wavetable, I guess? Make sure there. Do you see how the teeth are pretty much lined up even though the volume difference is there? Here, maybe if I turn the filter back off, you'll be able to see. See, they're all pretty much right next to each other, or very, very close, just lining up that first tooth. How they handle the unison detune with regards to the rest of the beating goes and all that stuff, it's a little bit different from synth to synth, but just to get them sounding as close as possible. And obviously some of them can't sound that close, like Massive. Because the tooth is like, the first tooth is way down there. But that's why I had that little macro thing going. Because now it's a lot closer to Hive. See, however, when you play the chords for that sequence, you can hear that it's a lot of difference. So I had to kind of boost it up just to get it to sound a little bit closer to that amount of detune. Yeah. Anyway, so let's turn the filter back on for Hive. And set DUNE to the expander filter to get some yummy filter resonance stuff going on. Let's draw a little automation and then have some fun. Okay, I've got the automation drawn to the amount that I would want it to for all the filters. So let's fire them off. Remember that we're using Omnisphere's low-pass filter Juicy, and by the way, I hate pretty much all the filters in Omnisphere. And I rarely use it for this type of thing. It's a lot better, in my opinion, for the sample-based stuff and all the crazy patches you can do with it. But yeah, low-pass Juicy. All right, here we go. Omnisphere and then all the rest. That was all, and again, I tried to get the filter cutoff point and the resonance amount to match pretty close on each. There are differences between them. There are very, very minute differences in terms of timbre and the way the beating works between each voice and each synthesizer. I'd just like to hear what you think. Did you have anyone that particularly stood out to you as being quote-unquote better, or just one that you liked more than the rest, or one you thought was terrible? Personally, I think that Massive sounds pretty bad. The unison on Massive sounds awful, to me, compared to some of the others. My favorites are Hive, I think, for the sound of the unison. Spire, Rapid, DUNE, Sylenth, Serum. Those are my faves. They all sound also just very, very similar to each other. Synthmaster also has a really gross unison, and I think maybe you noticed, it doesn't quite get the full stereo spread. Compared to Hive. Similarly, Spire doesn't go quite as far, but it's a lot better than the Synthmaster's spread. And honestly, if you are mad about any of that stuff when you're using the synths, you can just take a utility and do this. And now look, it's just as wide as the others, just by moving up that width knob. Of course, you have to gain adjust here, because it makes it a little bit louder when you do that. Anyway, once again, would love to hear what you think about these little exercises. Did you have a favorite? Did you have a least favorite? Are you having a good time in your life? Are you doing well? Are you doing okay? Are things going okay? Are you happy? Are you healthy? I hope so, because I care about you. So be well, live well, eat healthy, stay active. Much love from me to you. Till next time, bye.